Hi everyone, this is Pratish Cherian here, founder and CEO of Global Media Kit and Masscom Global, Dubai. India has rolled out a new set of regulations for the advertising industry. If your brand is planning for an advertising campaign in India, you need to be aware of the new regulations which are in place. Today we are lucky to have Mr. Sharad Vadehra, the managing partner of Khan and Krishme, a leading law firm in India. Mr. Sharad is also a founding partner of the Global Advertising Lawyers Alliance. Let us find out what are the new regulations and what are those things which we need to be prepared of.
Thank you, Pratish. It's a pleasure speaking to you. As we all know, India is a huge country. Things are changing. There are developments happening on a regular basis. The new act which has come into force is the Consumer Protection Act 2019, and which came into force on 20th of July 2020. This particular act broadened the definition of what is unfair trade practice, which now includes within its ambit online misleading advertisement. So if you have an advertisement which is going online and it amounts to misleading, it falls under the Consumer Protection Act 2019. Therefore, the most important change which has resulted from the new law is that now advertisements on digital platforms. So this is something very unique for a country of the size of India, where almost 70% of the population is now online. They are being regulated by the Consumer Protection Act. We also have the Advertising Standards Council of India. It is called the ASCI, and the ASCI is a voluntary self-regulatory organization comprising members from marketing, creative, media, allied companies, which have been recognized by the Supreme Court of India and other members of the Government of India, and looks into the complaints across all media. Now, this does not only include print, TV, radio, hoardings, text messages, emails, internet, website, product packaging, brochures, promotional materials, point of sale. So it includes all kind of materials through which advertising can take place. And the Advertising Standard Council of India is keeping a tab on OTT platform as well. So all the OTT platforms on which ads are being aired, they have also keeping track of that. Another important feature of the 2019 Act is now it defines what is a misleading advertisement. Prior to this particular Act, there was no definition of a misleading advertisement. So the plaintiffs and the defendants had to go to the court of law for an interpretation of what is a misleading advertisement. Now it has been defined, something which falsely describes a product or a service, falsely. So giving a wrong interpretation or a representation of a product or a service falls under a misleading advertisement. It also defines a false guarantee to or is likely to mislead the consumers as to the nature, substance, quantity, or quality of this product or the service. So if you give a wrong service or talk about a high quality of the product which is not true, that is also not allowed. It is considered as a misleading advertisement. Conveys or expresses or implied representation which will make the manufacturer, seller, or service thereof would constitute unfair trade practice. So if there is an unfair trade practice, or the manufacturer compares his product with somebody else's product and gives a wrong impression to the consumers that his product is better than the others, and the way he depicts that is again considered as a misleading advertisement, and also deliberately conceals important information. So there is some information which he is sharing, and there is some information which he is not sharing. He is hiding. That also amounts to misleading advertisement. I believe this definition or this introduction to the new act that has come in would suffice, because I could, explain this in say 400, 500 pages to you, and that would become too much for our listeners, our viewers.
Being from Dubai or in our different offices worldwide, we get a lot of inquiries for India. The rules which were there in India were so complicated, the definitions were not very clear. So now the government has put it in black and white, very clearly defining terms and conditions. For a global advertiser who is looking into advertising in India, what are the major things they have to keep in mind?
The Advertising Standard Council of India, like I told you, is a self-regulatory body, and it has laid down the conditions and the guidelines which have to be adhered by all advertisers. All advertisers coming into India have to ensure the truthfulness and honesty of representations and claims made by the advertisements. So you have a brand coming into India making a good fragrance, or a cosmetic company coming in and making claims that by applying that particular cosmetic cream on the face, Indian woman will become fair. And this does not happen. So this is a very tall claim, and this amounts to a misleading advertisement unless there is enough data, research, scientific studies to support these claims. So I'm giving you just one example. There are others. The advertisers have to ensure that advertisements are not offensive. As you already know, we have so many religions in India. The fair sex, the females, are protected. They are made sure that there cannot be anything offensive against the female. So the advertisements are not offensive to general accepted standards of public decency. These are the second requirement that has to be complied with. Safeguard the indiscriminate use of advertising for the promotion of products. I said indiscriminate use of advertising. There may be occasions that a particular advertiser in India, because he has the power of money with him, he has a lot of money with him. Every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, the ad of that particular company comes on the media. Now, this would be indiscriminate use of advertising. And this is regarded as hazardous to the society or to the individuals to a degree of a type which is unacceptable to a society at large. So high standards of ethics are being maintained in the field of advertising in India. Another requirement, ensure that the advertisements observe fairness in competition. Very important. Fairness in competition. It has been observed, even though in India, the advertisers are allowed to do comparative advertising. Comparative advertising would mean an advertiser compares his product with a competitor's product. This is allowed. It is as per ethics. But the comparison should be of the kind, it does not go overboard. You should not start criticizing the other product or making a comparison to the extent that you denigrate. You spoil the reputation of the other, and without any evidence. You have no proof. You have no evidence of what you are saying as an advertiser, and you do that. Now, this is not allowed in India. There are other do's and don'ts which I can share with you, but these are the four most important criteria that have to be kept in mind. There are, like I mentioned, religion, caste, creed. These are features which we have to be very careful, that have to be kept in mind while bringing in an ad campaign into India.
We have surrogate advertisements, which have been clearly mentioned in the new amendment. Even on digital, surrogate advertising has been really big in India. So what are the changes the government has put forward this time?
The surrogate advertisements were a source of very big revenue for Indian companies. Let me give you a very brief introduction of what is a surrogate advertisement. Just like the name says, a surrogate, it means that what you are advertising is not actually the product, but you are indirectly promoting the product by way of an advertisement. Now, this was very common with alcohol companies, with tobacco companies. They used to come up with these advertisements, And these advertisements would say, for an alcohol company or good Scotch company, they would bring in a pack of playing cards, and they would promote the product by a pack of playing cards. And this playing cards, indirectly, they used to promote the brand. This has been stopped, and this will be allowed. Now, this is important, you have to hear this. Surrogate advertisements will be allowed, subject to the condition that you do not go overboard in defining or describing your product like a playing card in such a manner that it depicts the real product or the end product. Number one. Number two, when you make such statements that such particular product is available, a playing card with the same brand, it should actually be available. It should not be only for the sake of advertising. It should be a real product, should be selling in the shops or the retail stores or the big malls. And you should not be just for advertising, you are using playing cards, or generally they do it with a bottle of soda, the soda water. And that should not be the spirit. That should not be the intention. That should not be the objective. And when you are doing that, surrogate ads are certainly allowed, but as long as you are meeting these requirements.
That is very insightful. We know that GALA is playing a vital role for advertisers, helping them advertise in a seamless manner, understanding the legal formalities of each and every country the advertiser want to grow into. It is a very important factor for our business, as well as we also help clients to expand into other territories. Since you are one of the founding partners of GALA, can you kindly explain what is the role of GALA for an advertiser and your services in India as a GALA member?
I'm so happy that you could bring this question up. GALA, this is the only group of lawyers from different firms, and there is one firm per country. So the group is not having many firms from each country. So from India, there's only our firm, only one firm. And the intention and objective of GALA is that anything relating to advertising, of course, we talked about advertising, sweepstakes is the promotions which take place, and related subject matter, including copyright, are actually seen by the client as to what would be the way they can benefit out of it by coming in touch with GALA. So having, say, 50 or 60 countries, you can get information, you can get knowledge about laws in 60 countries under one umbrella. And these countries, their GALA also publishes regularly books. There are books on advertising laws in each of those countries. There are books on alcohol advertising in all these countries. There are books on children advertising. As you know, for children, you have to be very careful what you are advertising, because children get influenced immediately. If there is a sugar drink you are advertising, the children would love to have that sugar drinks, which has a lot of sugar content in it. That will make them obese, and that is against their health. So we have such, all these countries come together and give you opinions, they give you advice. So if your client comes to you and he wants to know what is the law in, say, Kenya, and because he's promoting his product in Kenya, within a few hours, GALA member from Kenya will come back to you and give you an advice. This is what is allowed and this is not allowed.
They will only actually feel it, and they will realize it when they get the fine, right?
Absolutely right. Let me give you an example which recently happened with our firm. A very big brand of clothing from Italy. Let me not give the name. Now that brand approached us firstly through their lawyers, and then they approached us directly, because the endorser, influencer and endorser, the celebrity which I just mentioned, they had on Instagram, that endorser, one of the endorsers had uploaded a particular photograph of a particular fabric or a purse of lady's purse. And the particular brand was very concerned, because the regulatory body in India sent a warning letter to this particular company saying that what you are doing is against all norms and your endorser is doing this. So this particular company came back to us, what can we do? They had got a notice from the Advertising Standard Council of India, and they would be barred from marketing the product in India. And India is a big market for them. So then we approached the company. We said, let us get in touch with the endorser. We got in touch with the endorser, influencer, or the celebrity. We told him what you are doing is wrong. There are norms which the Advertising Standard Council of India has laid down. Not only will you suffer, but this big brand in India will not be able to come. So he sent an apology letter to the Advertising Standard Council of India, withdrew his comments, everything was normal. And if he had gone to a big lawyer, say in India, a big Supreme Court lawyer, and he would have charged him at least $50,000 to $60,000, and we could settle the whole issue in a few $100s, and the resolution was immediate, because GALA members like you, like our firm, we specialize in this field, and not every time you have to go to the court of law. Something which can be settled across the table through the standard medium, getting in touch with the regulatory bodies. This is what is required.
I think with the advent of social media, influencers are getting very popular. And for brands, they are the easiest way to enter a market because they really have a great influence over the purchase making decision. So this law is very important now, especially when companies are doing a lot of digital advertisements. So under the new law, are they also looking into the social media platforms?
Absolutely right. That is the real intention. So they have made it very clear that what you upload on social media, what you take it up on social media, it affects the general masses, it affects the consumers, it affects the people at large. Even the government of India is conscious of the fact that situation can become very dangerous suddenly. So they are keeping a control on what goes on social media. Otherwise, the way internet is moving, the way social media is there in our hands with our mobile phones, things could become very difficult, not only for the advertisers, for the consumers, but also for the government.
It can fall on the wrong hands, right? That is why they are. Yes.
Absolutely. And firstly, you need good laws, which India has now, a good control, which again India has now, and a quick decision mechanism.
We would like to understand, apart from India, the other countries in the Indian subcontinent, where all you could help our clients?
We get this question from, not only question, we get work from Japan, we get work from US, because India actually is the center. If you go back to the history, India was the main country, and of course China, which where they were the trading centers, where all the trading used to take place, say centuries ago. Then Pakistan was made, then Bangladesh was made, Nepal was made, Sri Lanka was also some part of India. So we can actually help you in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Maldives, Bhutan, Myanmar. So all these countries we can help you, but I would like to give you a disclaimer. Please be very cautious and aware of the fact that all these countries which I have mentioned need not have codified written laws.
Yes.
India has codified law. It has an Advertising Standards Council of India, which regulates. There, it may be on the basis of cases going to the court. There, it may be on the basis of practice that has been established by the government, or some guidelines that have been given by government. So it will depend upon your advertisers, your clients' query, that the answer may differ. In some cases, we may give you a very good, clear-cut, straightforward answer. For example, we got a query on the other day whether gambling or having online gaming is allowable in Pakistan or not. So there are no laws on that in Pakistan. So if it is online, it is available for everybody to pay, and internet is for everybody. So we asked and we searched for the laws in Pakistan. We couldn't find anything. So if it is online and the platform is not in Pakistan, it is outside Pakistan, you can certainly play. In Dubai, we have different laws, if I'm not wrong, for online gaming. So this may differ from country to country. In Nepal, for example, casinos are legal. In India, only certain states, that to a particular region of a state, whether it is on land or if it is not on land. It is very surprising. If you are on the sea, casinos are allowed in India. But if you are on the land, you have problems. Depends upon your question. What question, what query will come to us for us to give you an answer.
For an advertiser who is looking into promoting their services across the Indian subcontinent, I think it is better that they come in advance, check the nitty-gritties of what all points they need to consider so that they can be prepared rather than being in a reactive mode when we get a notice, right?
Absolutely right. It is always good to take a good opinion, keep it in your files before actually moving forward and launching your ad in any country for that matter. And US, of course, is advanced. So everything is set, everything is known, and the US lawyers can give you an opinion. Of course, it will be a very good opinion because they have everything codified. A country like India, we also have laws like anti-competitive laws, gambling laws, information technology laws. There are certain things which we have to look into the information technology law to see whether this advertisement will go through or not. We also have to see the income tax law when there is gaming or there is a promotion. If somebody plays a game which is being promoted into India by a company in your country, they want to promote their product by a particular promotion scheme. So you enter a particular promotion from India, you fill in some details about yourself and you get a prize. So, and when you get a prize, what does the Income Tax Act say? So we also have to see whether the competitor who has won, the person who has won the prize, whether he will be liable to pay any tax or not. So we have to look into that aspect also. So while being advertising lawyers, we also have to look into Income Tax Act.
You're right. I think for the real estate market, especially, we work with a lot of real estate clients from this market and also from the Europe. There are restrictions stating this much amount can be transferred from India, right?
Yeah.
Those things,
Yeah.
I believe, needs to be checked and vetted before it goes live, right?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, it's about $200,000. Any person who wants to buy a property, he can invest overseas $200,000 in a year. But for somebody coming into India and buying in India, there is a change in the amount. What is the amount? So according to your query, we will have to do the work, the research, the search, and then come back and help your clients to give an opinion. But it is a very good thing that you mentioned that don't jump. Take step one by one when you are going to launch a product, when you are going to bring in your, say for the real estate developers, bringing in your whole work into India, setting up your housing society, or bringing your service to India. Take opinions rather than immediately jumping just because it is legal in one country. It may not be legal in India.
Correct. I think this has been a very interesting session. You have shared a lot of knowledge, which I believe is very important for advertisers looking into advertising, not only in India. We have clients like, for example, advertising in the Bhutan. The last campaign we had, we still remember that the TV channel was saying, you cannot put out an advertising without a traditional Bhutanese dress.
Look at that.
Yeah. These things, the world don't know. They prepare an artwork and come for releasing the video, but it doesn't work that way. We are very happy to be a part of GALA as an associate member. This is an amazing group. Any campaign we have is always good to have an opinion. We really look forward to working closely with you. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, and you are always welcome. And in case you need any other help, any other thing in the future, feel free.